So, welcome everyone to our weekly Bhagavad Gita class. Thank you for taking out your precious time and coming to attend this Bhagavad Gita class. Very grateful to all the devotees. We are continuing our discussion from Bhagavad Gita as it is. We are on chapter 2nd, which is entitled Contents of Gita Summarized. So, in our practice of spiritual life, and especially devotional life, there are 5 things which are most powerful. साधु संग नाम कीर्तन भागवत श्रवण मथुरावास श्रीमूर्तिर श्रद्धाया सेवन. Association of devotees, sadhu sanga, bhagavad shravan, reading, hearing Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Nam Sankirtan, chanting the names of the Lord, Mathuravas, going to holy places, and Srimurtira Shraddhaya Sevan, worshipping the deities of the Lord with faith. इसमें थोड़ा सा इको आ रहा है क्यों? Can somebody just reduce it? Zero करिए. हाँ, पूरा zero कर दीजिए. Yes, that's it. सकल साधन श्रेष्ठे पंचांग कृष्ण प्रेम जन्माए पांचेर अल्प संग. There are various ways in which we can come close to the Lord. Of all the various ways, these 5 are very powerful. So every week when we come together to hear Bhagavad Gita, the stories of Bhagavatam, they are bringing us closer to Krishna. From today onwards, for some people, and from Purnima onwards, there is a very beautiful beginning of Chaturmas, the 4 months which are considered very, very pious. Not just pious, they are very, very devotional. And one of our great acharyas, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, describes Madhava Tithi Bhakati Janani Jatane Palan Kari. So all the days in which Lord appears in this world, Ekadashi, and these types of months, they increase devotion in our heart. So we should take all the endeavors. जतने पालन, जतन करके उसका पालन करना है. Take all the endeavor and try to practice these months. So these 4 months, they are called as Chaturmas, which is beginning from today. For some people it is from Ekadashi, for some people it is from Purnima. We follow from Purnima. So in few days, it will be starting. So in these 4 months, many devotees, they take different vrata. Some are very intense vrata, and some follow whatever they can. But the basic things, some people they eat only once a day. Some people they don't eat grains at all. Some people they eat only fruits. Some people they avoid sweets or fried. Weight घटाने के लिए भी थोड़ा सा अच्छा मौका है. It is a double benefit. वेट भी कम होता है और स्पिरिचुअल बेनिफिट भी मिलता है. But the most important thing, whatever we do, we should try to do something more which is directly spiritual. मतलब एक बार खाना या फ्राइड नहीं खाना, स्वीट नहीं खाना, these are some material things we do, but one most important thing we should do is try to increase some of our devotional practices. Either chanting or reading scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, or hearing some bhajan or some lecture or whatever. Try to increase little bit of that devotional practice. That is up to everyone's individual choice. कितना बढ़ाना है, क्या करना है? Pray to the Lord and the Lord will inspire. And the 4th month is very, very wonderful. That is Kartik. Some of you must have heard about Kartik month. One of the very, very dearmost months of the Lord. So try to increase our practice of devotional service whatever possible. If somebody thinks quantity to बढ़ाना मुश्किल है, chanting I am really doing my best. Increase quality. Quality of chanting is more important, because if we are not increasing our quality, the quantity doesn't matter. बहुजन्म करे यदि श्रवण कीर्तन तबो तो ना पाए कृष्ण पदे प्रेम धन. We can keep on chanting for many months or many births, बहुजन्म. But if we are not attentive, that will not give us the desired benefit. So try to increase the quality. भाई ये महीने में सुबह सुबह हम चैंटिंग करेंगे, नहीं तो हमारी चैंटिंग रात के 10 बजे शुरू होती है. शुरू में ऐसा होता है ना. और या फिर आई विल कीप माई मोबाइल अवे while chanting. Rather than fasting from food, do fasting from social media. Facebook, Insta. ये 4 महीने नहीं देखी प्रभु जी, क्या मजाक कर रहे हैं. 4 महीने कैसे? एटलीस्ट एक महीना, एक भी ज्यादा है. At least 1 week. Or I'll reduce the number of minutes I am spending on my WhatsApp or social media or whatever. So we have to do some sacrifice. Sacrifice is pleasing to the Lord. Tapasya is pleasing to the Lord. Bodily tapasya is difficult. एक बार खाना. We have some devotees. वो कार्तिक के लास्ट के 5 दिन जो होते हैं ना, उसको भीष्म पंचक बोलते हैं. As the name indicates, Bhishma. Some people, they follow intense vrata. I know some devotees, they fast all 5 days without eating, without drinking. उनको सुन के ही भूख लग जाती है, सुन के प्यास लग जाएगी. हमारी तो एकादशी एक निर्जल एकादशी गई प्रभु जी, कैसे निकाली है अभी मैं ही जानता हूँ, है ना. Our bodies are not designed for such fasting. More than that, we can do fasting from speaking all the things of the world. At least 4 महीने नहीं, 1 महीना, 1 महीना भी नहीं, 1 हफ्ता. At least 1 week I will not criticize anyone. I will not speak about faults of anyone. I try to see good in others. वो सब ज्यादा difficult है. So try to do that type of tapasya. तपो दिव्यम पुत्रका येन सद्वम शुद्धेत यस्मात् ब्रह्म सौख्यम त्वनंतम. This human life is meant for tapasya. तपस्या के लिए बना है जीवन. It is not meant for enjoyment. Although enjoyment we will get, even if we don't want, if we don't endeavor for it, we'll get enjoyment. But human life is not just meant for enjoyment. It is meant for purification of our consciousness. Because when we are purified, we can help others. We can help ourselves and we can help others in a better way. That is spiritual life all about. That's why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he tells, Bharat bhumite manushya janma hoilayar janma sarthak kari kar para upakar. You have taken birth in human form in India. Bharat varsh mein janam liya hai. We don't know our glories. Even Devatas want to take birth in India. You know that? मैंने डिस्कस बताया पहले यहाँ पे, एक बार शायद बोला था. There is prayer in Srimad Bhagavatam. Even Devatas in heaven, they are interested in taking birth in India as human beings. What is so special about us? मतलब अपना कॉलर ऊपर करके देखो, हम भी इतने बड़े हैं. Why? Any guesses? Why? क्यों भाई देवताओं को यहाँ पे क्या अच्छा दिख गया? हम तो सोच रहे हैं हम भी थोड़ा जाते हैं स्वर्ग लोक, और स्वर्ग वाले बोल रहे हैं हमको इधर आना है. क्यों? हाँ जी, ग्रास इज ग्रीन ऑन द अदर साइड. ऐसा नहीं है. क्यों वहां पे नहीं पूजा हो रही है? Who said something? ओके, भगवान ने अवतार लिया यहाँ पे. अच्छा ठीक है. अरे वहां पे तो भगवान साक्षात रहते हैं. Whenever Indra does yajna, Lord comes. Yes, any other thoughts? सोचिए तो सही, सोचते ही नहीं. भक्ति यहाँ पे इजीली हो जाती है. अच्छा ठीक है. और बस there's a very very special reason why देवतास, संतों की भूमि है. ओके ठीक है. अरे वहां पे तो सब संत ही हैं. स्वर्गलोक में सब संत ही हैं. भगवान की लीलाओं के दर्शन कर सकते हैं, इसलिए यहाँ पे जन्म मिल। अच्छा है, अच्छा ठीक है। और ओके ठीक है, लेकिन यहाँ पे चैंटिंग करके वापस जा सकते हैं, ठीक है। यहाँ पे भगवान का धाम है, ओके। अच्छा, ऑल दीज आर राइट आंसर्स, यू नो, देयर आर नो रॉन्ग आंसर्स इन कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस, बाय द वे। व्हाट इज द प्रॉब्लम इन हेवन देन? डिवोटी नहीं है उधर, उधर सब डिवोटी है भाई। इंद्र चंद्र, दे आर ऑल डिवोटीज ओनली। देव राक्षसों को थोड़ी ना लगाएंगे सेवा में। सत्संग नहीं है वहां पे। अरे बाबा, डिवोटी है तो सत्संग तो हो रहा है ना। They have kirtans going on in the pleasure of, for the pleasure of the Lord. From here they can go Vaikuntha. From here we can go Vaikuntha, okay. वहां से नहीं, वही तो पूछ रहा हूँ, वहां से क्यों नहीं जा सकते? अरे वहां पे आसानी से दर्शन दे देते हैं। किम दुष्करैर्न क्रतुभिः तपोव्रतैर्दानादिभिर्वा द्विजयेन फल्गुना न यत्र नारायण पाद पंकज स्मृति प्रमुष्टातिशेन्द्रिय उत्सवात्. This is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 5th canto, 19th chapter. Devatas are offering this prayer. In that they are saying, "Oh my Lord," they are offering prayers to Lord. Kim dushkarai, we have done intense tapasya, tapa, vrat, दान, यहाँ पे सब करके हम लोग पहुंच गए, स्वर्ग में आ गए। देखो, यहाँ से तप करेंगे तभी तो जाएंगे। किम दुष्करैना कतुबी तपोव्रतै दानादिभिर, सब करके we have reached there. There is one problem here. What is the problem in Vaikuntha, in Swarga? Na yatra narayana pada pankaja smriti. What's the problem there? It is very difficult to remember the lotus feet of Krishna. Why? अतिशय इंद्रिय उत्सवा, इंद्रियों का उत्सव चल रहा है उधर। देयर इज फेस्टिवल फॉर एंजॉयमेंट, एवरीथिंग इज वंडरफुल देयर। बेस्ट ऑफ द फूड अवेलेबल, बेस्ट ऑफ द म्यूजिक, बेस्ट ऑफ द डांस, बेस्ट ऑफ द हेल्थ। उधर कोई बीमार नहीं पड़ता है, कोई बूढ़ा नहीं होता है उधर। नोबडी डाइज देयर। ऐसा कैसे? मरते तो है ना देवता, मरते हैं। मरने के पहले, you know, just like in one hospital it is written, nobody dies in our hospital. Why? Before they die we shift them to another hospital. So when some devata is about to leave his body, he is shifted to another loka. सब first class है उधर, so wonderful facility that they can't remember Krishna. That's why they are praying, "Oh Lord, please give us birth in भारतवर्ष." यहाँ पे रहने के बाद जो भी पुण्य हमारा बच जाएगा, वो पुण्य से हमको भारत भूमि में जन्म दीजिए। It will be easy to practice spiritual life. And भारत वाले बोल रहे हैं, हम तो सोच रहे हैं कब जाएंगे स्वर्ग। That is how we have to understand. The more we read scriptures, the more we realize what we have achieved. As Mataji said, grass is always green on the other side otherwise. सबको लगता है पता नहीं, लोग बोल तो रहे हैं चैंट हरे कृष्णा एंड बी हैप्पी। आएगा चैंट हरे कृष्णा एंड बी हैप्पी, इधर तो इतना तपस्या हो रहा है। चैंटिंग इज द बिगेस्ट तपस्या। The more we realize what we have achieved, the more we will value it. The more we'll know the glories. You know, the knowledge changes the way we see the world. When we get something and when we realize the importance of it, we will keep it very, very, carefully. This chance to practice spiritual life, especially devotional life, it is rare. And if we are not careful, we may lose it. And worse, we will not even realize that we have lost something valuable. There are many people, they come, they attend for some time, and then they leave because they don't realize the value of what is getting distributed here. So these 4 months of Chaturmas, they are very, very powerful way. They are very powerful to bring us closer to Krishna. So try to take advantage of it. Whatever we can. थोड़ा तपस्या करिए कुछ. If not bodily तपस्या, physical difficult है. At least तपस्या of the mind. chant more. Tapasya of speech, don't speak about the faults of others. Try to speak about Krishna more. Tapasya of intelligence, try to read scriptures more. नहीं तो प्रभु जी एज इट इज देख के ना इतना अच्छा लगता है ना मेरे को, ये कितना अच्छा टाइटल दिया प्रभुपाद, एज इट इज रख देते हैं हम लोग. पढ़िए, ट्राई टू रीड इवन इफ यू डोंट अंडरस्टैंड एनीथिंग. कितने लोगों को सच्ची सच्ची बताइए, कितने लोगों को लगता है प्रभु जी कुछ नहीं समझता इसको पढ़ा तो, मतलब पढ़ने के बाद लगता है पढ़ तो लिया लेकिन शुरू कहाँ से किया था और एंड कहाँ से किया था पता ही नहीं चलता है, और हर बार वही पेज खोला तो भी लगता है यार नया लग रहा है. सच्ची में ना. स्टिल रीड इट इवन इफ यू डोंट अंडरस्टैंड एनीथिंग, स्टिल रीड इट. ये बा नहीं बुझे के हा सुनीते सुनीते से हा कि अद्भुत चैतन्य चरित कृष्ण उपजी बे प्रीति जानी बे रसेर रीति सुनी लई बड़ा होए हित. So Kaviraj Goswami is writing in Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is a biography of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. ये बात नहीं बुझे, बंगाली है कोई यहाँ पे? बंगाली पीछे बैठे हैं माता जी, और कोई है? और कोई नहीं बंगाली? चलिए. ये बात नहीं बुझे कि हाँ, अगर कुछ भी नहीं समझ रहा है, even if you're not understanding anything, सुनीते सुनीते से हाँ, please keep on hearing, keep on reading. कि अद्भुत चैतन्य चरित. Please keep reading the wonderful pastimes of Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, instructions of Krishna. What will happen? Krishna upaji be priti, you will develop love for Krishna. Jani be rasera riti, you will understand the mellows of devotion. Suni lai bada hoye hita, आपका हित होगा, सुनिए. So that's why these books are very important. Even if you don't understand, try to pray to Bhagavad Gita, try to pray to Bhagavatam. These are not ordinary books. ये पेपर नहीं है. These books are not just paper. They are Krishna's words. And Krishna's words and Krishna is non-different. Bhagavatam and Krishna is non-different. So pray to Bhagavad Gita before reading Bhagavad Gita. Pray to holy name before chanting. That's how we become closer to the Lord. नहीं तो फिर मैकेनिकल हो जाता है ना. Chanting becomes mechanical many times. Mechanical many times, most of the times. चोला माला कर दिया, whatever rounds we are chanting. Mechanical हो जाता है. Try to put your heart in that. ये 4 महीने में थोड़ा endeavor करिए. Try to make some commitments. भाई कुछ तो extra करना है. I want to come little closer. Spontaneously it will not happen. एक दिन उठे और अचानक भगवान के दर्शन हो गए, अली वो. It will not happen automatically. We have to put endeavor for it. You know. So that is very, very important to understand. So as we are reading this Bhagavad Gita as it is, we are hearing Krishna speaking so many wonderful instructions. And basically we are discussing today we'll be discussing the last verse of the section where Krishna is describing the knowledge of soul, Atma. Last verse, I think 29th we did, right? Yeah. So in 29th verse, it was amazing verse. Everything is amazing. Okay. 30th verse, Krishna is speaking something very important for us. Dehi nityam avadhyoyam देहे सर्वस्य भारत तस्मात् सर्वाणि भूतानि न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि. Translation please. Somebody.
O descendant of Bharata, he who dwells in the body can never be slain. Therefore, you need not to grieve for any living thing.
देही means जो देह में रहता है, the owner of this body, dehi. What is the quality of that one who lives in this body? It is nitya. Nitya means eternal. Avadhya, it cannot be killed. Vadh nahi kiya ja sakta inka. And not just human beings. You know, some people have this conception only humans have soul. Animals don't have soul. So we can kill animals. Dehe sarvasya. In all the bodies, the soul is there. Dehe sarvasya bharata. Therefore, Arjun, Bharat means the descendant of Bharata, the great king Bharat. Therefore, tasmat means therefore. Tasmat sarvani bhutani natvam shochitum arhasi. Arjun, please don't lament. सोच मत करिए. सोच मतलब सोचता नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. शोक नहीं करना. Doesn't lament. Arjun, please don't lament. You know, Bhagavad Gita, first, what is the title of the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita? Observing the armies. In Sanskrit, it has two names depending on the two sections of the first chapter. First half of the first chapter is Sainya Niriksha Yoga, which is translated as observing the armies on the battlefield. And the second part is Arjun Vishad Yoga. So Arjun Vishad Yoga. You know, when one is lamenting, they are not conscious of God. Vishad takes us away from God. But this chapter is called as Vishad Yoga. Yoga means, what is the meaning of yoga? Jodna. Kisse jodna hai? To connect with the Lord. So that is the difference between Vishad of an ordinary living entity and Vishad of great souls. When we lament, we forget God. When Arjun is lamenting, he is coming closer to God. So that is how we have to understand this whole Bhagavad Gita, to come close to God. Arjuna Vishada Yoga. And then he gives so many reasons why he doesn't want to fight and ultimately surrenders in the second chapter. And that's where Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. Wonderful instructions was given. It was not only for Arjun. It was not spoken 5,000 years back for Arjun. It is spoken for everyone. And Arjun and Krishna, when he speaks something, these are eternal words. Because Krishna is all eternal spiritual being. He is a reservoir of all knowledge. When Krishna had to speak Bhagavad Gita next day, because Krishna knew that, okay, I have to speak Bhagavad Gita, he is all knowing, omniscient. It was not that he was memorizing all the verses one day before. Arjun को कल भगवद गीता सुनानी है, धर्म क्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे धर्म क्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे, याद कर लेता हूँ. He is all knowing, he is omniscient. When he speaks, he is benefiting the entire world for eternity. So this knowledge is not just for Arjun, it is for every one of us. And Arjun is so dejected. It is quite painful, you know, when we are disturbed, when things don't go the way we want, when our plans are spoiled, when we don't understand what is happening in our life, in my life, क्यों हो रहा है मेरे साथ, पता नहीं मेरे साथ ही ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है. बाकी सब लोग खुश, सब लोग सुखी हैं दुनिया में, मैं ही दुखी हूँ इस दुनिया में. We don't know. Everybody has some pain in their life. How many of you have no pains in your body? Look, कुछ pain है ही नहीं, all good, apart from children. ऐसा कोई है? Nobody. अरे एक तो होगा भाई. Just see. That's how body is designed. बॉडी डिजाइन ही उसके लिए किया गया है, अंदर से दुख देने के लिए, बाहर से दुख देने के लिए. ब्रह्मा जी ने अच्छा बनाया है. ब्रह्मा जी has made this body so wonderfully. Why? To give us pain. That's it. That's the only reason he has made this body for. Shutritridhat virimam urardhyamana शीतोष्णवात वर्षाइतरेतराच कामाग्निनाच्युतरुषा च सुदुर्भरेण संपश्यतो मनोरुक्रमसीदते मे. And after creating this body, you know what is happening to Brahma ji? बेचारे ब्रह्मा जी को दुख हो रहा है, क्या शरीर बना दिया, अरे रे रे, बेचारे सब तरफ से पिटने वाले हैं। अंदर से क्या हो रहा है? शुद्ध त्रित त्रिधातु, हंगर, थर्स्ट, कफ, वात, पित्त ऑलवेज डिस्टर्ब। बाहर से क्या हो रहा है? शीत, उष्ण, वात, वर्षा। मुंबई वालों के लिए तो वर्षा तो कॉमन है। मुंबई में 2 ही सीजन है, रेनी एंड नॉन रेनी। शीत, उष्ण, वात, वर्षा। और क्या है? दिस इज ग्रॉस लेवल। सटल लेवल, व्हाट इज हैपनिंग? काम अग्नि, द फायर ऑफ डिजायर इज बर्निंग। अच्युत रुषा, एंगर, तो क्रोध तो कभी शांत होता ही नहीं है। संपश्यतो, seeing all this I am really lamenting. So this body is made for giving us pain. Yes, आपके बॉडी में पेन नहीं है ना? छोटी बच्ची बोल रही है, शी इज रेजिंग हैंड, तो मेरे को लगा कुछ बोलने वाली है। Everybody is going through some pains in their life, with their relations, with their friends, family. सबके जीवन में चल रहा है। And when one is in difficulty, we try to find solution. And when spiritual solution is provided, they feel, नहीं, ये तो काम नहीं करेगा लगता। I have to find some material solution to it. Because everywhere around I am seeing, this is also, he is also happy, she is also happy. ये सब लोग मजा कर रहे हैं, कोई मजा नहीं कर रहा है। It is a typical scenario of crying, smiling faces, crying hearts. You know, सबके जीवन में दुख है। केम छो, मजा में, फर्स्ट क्लास चल रहा है जीवन। Because nobody wants to 25 पैसे का सर्कस याद है ना? Nobody wants to prove themselves as how foolish this person, how foolish I am. कोई नहीं बताना चाहता है कि मेरी पिटाई हो रही है भाई। I am really frustrated. मतलब इतना भी नहीं, लेकिन थोड़ा बहुत तो होता ही है जीवन में, कभी कभी ज्यादा हो जाता है। And when we come to spiritual process and we are told थोड़ा उसके लिए कुछ मेहनत करना पड़ेगा, our mind says नहीं, इसमें मत घुसना, बहुत प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा बाद में। One time there was a man, he was really poor. He went to a sage. He said, महाराज, बाबा जी, कुछ समस्या का समाधान करिए। ऐसे लोग बोलते हैं ना, कई बार मेरे को भी पूछते हैं लोग, महाराज हाथ देखते क्या हाथ? वो कई बार वो रिक्शा वाला का लेक्चर सुन के आना पड़ता है मेरे को। रिक्शा वाला बोलता है, महाराज हम भी ब्राह्मण हैं, उसका चालू होता है। So this person went to a sage and said, please give me some solution. So the sage gave him a touchstone. He said, I'm giving you this touchstone for 3 months, only 3 months, okay? And this touchstone can transform iron into gold. Only iron into gold, huh? So you use it, and when you get sufficient gold, you know, return this after 3 months. This person was really poor. He didn't have money to buy iron also. And the rate of iron was really high according to him. So he was waiting. Iron का रेट कब कम होगा? 1 महीना चला गया, कोई बात नहीं, 2 महीने हैं, 2 महीने में कम हो जाएगा, फिर मैं 1 दिन में पूरा अपना सोना बना लूंगा खरीद के। 1 महीना, 2 महीना, 20 दिन, 25 दिन, 29 दिन, 30th डे का 1 घंटा बचा। एंड इज थिंकिंग, यार रेट कम नहीं हो रहा है आयरन का। 3 months are over. And what happens? You know why I'm telling this story? You know, this is story of many people in this world. We are like that person many times. We are in distress, and somebody comes and tells, I am giving you this touchstone of spiritual life, touchstone of chanting the names of the Lord. It will remove all the distress. It will make you billionaire. But थोड़ा महंगा है। ये केवल आयरन को सोना बनाता है। But many times we don't have that energy and faith to buy that iron. The iron is, what is this iron in our life which we fear? to trade off, to buy?
Sincerely.
Our time, sincerity. Okay, what else? इतना कैसे समय लगा देंगे भाई? थोड़ा शांति से बाद में करेंगे. You know? So we have to understand. Our mind will always tempt us. महंगा है बाबा, महंगा है, इतना समय मत दे इसमें, बाद में तो करना ही है, अभी नहीं. You know? So that's how we have to understand. We have to learn to take that risk. Krishna likes a person who takes risks to come closer to him. थोड़ा तो risk लेना पड़ेगा. I read a very wonderful statement. When Krishna pushes us to the edge, two things will happen in our lives. Either he'll catch us as we fall, or he'll teach us how to fly. So you have to take that risk. अरे भगवान के ऊपर विश्वास करके तो देखिए, आज तक किसी को निराश नहीं किया भगवान ने. Krishna has not rejected anyone. Only thing we should have is sincere faith. Krishna will definitely test our faith, 100%. Test तो लेंगे. But if we pass our test, then we'll see wonderful things happening. Our faith will increase. Our commitments towards spiritual life will increase. Some risk. So Bhagavad Gita teaches us to grow. You know, it's like small children when their desires are not fulfilled. क्या करते हैं? रोना चालू करते हैं. मम्मी चाहिए, मुझे चाहिए, चाहिए, चाहिए. रोने लगते हैं. क्योंकि रोने से उनको मिल जाता है. Because अभी नहीं रोएंगे तो नहीं मिलेगा. अभी दे नहीं रहे, रोएंगे तो मिल जाएगा. But many times, even after growing, we keep crying when our desires are not fulfilled. रोते रहते हैं, मुझे नहीं मिला, मुझे नहीं मिला, मुझे नहीं मिला. मिल जाता तो इतना अच्छा होता. इसमें एडमिशन नहीं मिला, और ये नहीं हुआ, वो नहीं हुआ. रोते रहते हैं. Learn to accept the refusals of our life. When we learn to accept no, then we understand how to find a better option now. When we don't accept, we never grow. हम उधर ही पड़े रहते हैं, उधर ही अटके रहते हैं. पता नहीं कैसे हो गया मेरे जीवन में, कैसे हो गया, कैसे. अरे वो कैसे का कोई आंसर नहीं है. There is no answer to that. Why? क्यों हो गया? Ask how I can become a better person now. How I can grow in my spiritual life, in my material life, whatever, you know. So growing up means to accept no gracefully. ये नहीं मिला ना, कोई बात नहीं. I'll accept it. Krishna must have a better plan for me. This faith is very important. This faith made Arjuna different from Duryodhana. Arjuna depended on Krishna. We know the story, you know, in the beginning of the battle, Arjuna and Duryodhana both went to Krishna and they wanted help of Krishna. Krishna said, I have my Narayani Sena and myself. I'll not fight. You choose. So Arjuna, he chose Krishna. He had that faith. Avashya Rakshibe Krishna iti Vishwasapalan. Arey Baba, Krishna is there. What is the problem then? He will plan my life. Even if apparently things are not going the way I want, definitely Krishna has a better plan for me. So that is what we have to understand. Natvam shochitum arhasi. We should not lament. दुखी तो नॉर्मली सब लोग होते हैं, लेकिन what makes a advanced devotee and a new devotee, दोनों के जीवन में दुख आता है. What is the difference? The sooner a person comes back to the normal state. For a new person, उसके जीवन में दुख आया, रोता रोता उसके जीवन निकालेंगे, वो साल बिताएगा वो. But a mature devotee, he'll quickly come back to the steady state of mind. And that requires sincere prayers. As we have heard a famous statement, the more we sweat in peace, what is the next statement?
The less we bleed in war.
The less we bleed in war. So when things are going good in our life, how attentive we are in our chanting, how sincerely we are taking association of devotees, how sincerely we are serving whenever the opportunity comes. That brings us closer to Krishna. Otherwise, and we are holding our plans very tightly. It's like if somebody wants to catch a butterfly and उड़ ना जाए तो जोर से पकड़ा तो क्या होगा? मर जाएगी वो. When we hold our plans very tightly, we get choked up. नहीं हुआ, नहीं हुआ, नहीं हुआ. Frustration आता है फिर. Don't hold them very tightly. ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. ये नहीं हुआ, no problem. Because mind always perceives मेरे साथ ही बुरा हो रहा है, उसके साथ तो बुरा हो ही नहीं रहा है. देखो, वो तो जीवन में इतना टाइम पास कर रहे हैं, इतना गड़बड़ कर रहे हैं, still he is enjoying life, and I am not doing anything wrong. Still I am suffering. So we have to understand that Natvam Shochitum Arasi is very, very important. The more we understand this, the more we quickly learn this, our life will become peaceful. Otherwise, वो रोने धोने में ही जीवन निकल जाता है. क्यों नहीं मिला, क्यों नहीं मिला, क्यों नहीं मिली, उसी में जीवन चला जाता है. ये जॉब नहीं मिला, वो नहीं मिला, ये नहीं मिली, ऐसा नहीं हुआ, वैसा नहीं हुआ, कोई बात नहीं. Krishna must have a better plan, And that is what Arjuna is showing. He had a plan. I don't want to kill my parents, my elders, my relatives, my grandfather. Krishna had a different plan. Somebody was saying, if you want to make Krishna laugh, you know what you have to do? You have to tell your plans to Krishna. And Krishna will laugh nicely. Beta bana le jitna plan bana hai. मेरा प्लान अलग है, and my plans are better. Because when we pray to Krishna, we think, Krishna, you're all powerful and I am all knowing, मैंने अपना first class plan बनाया है. You execute my plans. Krishna says, I am all knowing, you are not you. I have a better plan for you. Because we are seeing things from a very short-term perspective. But Krishna has a better vision, broader vision. So he plans our life. So therefore, Krishna is saying, please understand the soul is eternal. Don't lament. And the more we purify our mind, the more we purify our intelligence, the more we can see things in right perspective. I read a nice statement. Real lies. Samjha? Real lies. Real lies. When we get actual vision, real eyes, then we realize इस संसार में कितना सफेद झूठ है. All the glamour of the world, all the advertisement, all सब दिखावा है. उसमें से कुछ भी नहीं मिलता है या फिर ड्रॉप मिलता है. Promises are a lot, but what we get is very little. So that real eye we'll get when we read scriptures regularly. That is called as Shastra Chakshu, seeing the world from the eyes of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is not just for Sunday reading. Learn to see things from the eyes of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita में भगवान क्या बोलते हैं इसके बारे में? When problem comes, when happiness comes, Srila Prabhupada, he would tell, Krishna tested me twice. Srila Prabhupada, when he was a householder, he was a big businessman. He had a big factory. One day he got a news that his factory is burning. And as he reached there, he saw his factory is in flames. He remembered a verse from Bhagavatam. Yasyaham anugrahanami harishye tad dhanam shanai. When I show special mercy to somebody, I take away everything from him. Anybody wants special mercy? Don't worry, Krishna doesn't do this to anyone and everyone. Only trusted souls. ऐसा मर्सी हमको देंगे ना, प्रभु जी, ये मेरा फीडबैक आप ही रखिए, मेरा चैंटिंग आप ही कर लीजिएगा. Krishna loves everyone, he trusts a few. And those trusted souls he tests. He puts them in difficult situations so that they can show the world how to handle the problems. Srila Prabhupada, he told this, he quoted this, Yasyam anugranami, this is special mercy of the Lord. So when we go through difficulties, special mercy. This is Krishna's mercy. Just like Chataka bird, Chatak bird, Chakor. It is said that the Chatak bird only drinks the water which comes from the rain. Doesn't drink from the ponds and all the other places. Waiting when the rain water will come. Sometimes the cloud doesn't shower rain, it showers thunderbolts. Chataka bird accepts that also. Koi baat. It is also mercy. So a devotee, in his or her life, when good things happen, mercy of the Lord. When bad things happen, mercy of the Lord. Tatte nukampa susamikshamano bhunjanu evatma kritam vipakam ridvagva purbhir vidhan namaste jivetayo mukti pade sadaya bhak. Tatte anukampa, it is extreme mercy of the Lord. Thank you, my Lord, for giving this problem in my life. Can we say that? Problem Aya, thank you so much. You are so wonderful. Thank you because, Arey Baba, I was about to suffer more. We have given a sample of it. थोड़ा करके देते हैं वो, भगवान ज्यादा नहीं देते हैं. Krishna gives more than we deserve, more rewards than we deserve, and he gives less punishment than we deserve. So that is how Lord works in the life of his devotee. So Srila Prabhupada, he said, Krishna tested me twice. एक बार सब ले लिया मेरे से. And when Srila Prabhupada was in America with nobody to help, and then he kept on trying. Ultimately, he had 108 temples all over the world, and wonderful temples his disciples had built for Radha Krishna. He had wonderful place to stay. Prabhupada said, Krishna tested me twice. Once by giving everything to me, once by taking away everything from me, other time by giving everything to me. Which is a difficult test? More difficult? Giving everything or taking everything? Why? दुख में भगवान की याद ज्यादा आ जाती है. एक बहुत अच्छा वो है ना, दुख में सुमिरन सब करे, जो सुख में सुमिरन करे तो दुख काय का हो. So we should learn this process of remembering the Lord in peaceful times intensely. Intense मतलब intense. Chanting means intense. अच्छे से. Intense मतलब ऐसा मुझे बोला है सीरियस रहना है भक्ति में, अभी एकदम हंसना नहीं है. That is not seriousness. Seriousness means when I am chanting, and I am hearing, doing one thing at a time. Wherever the mind goes, I will bring it back. I will not do multitasking in my chanting. Chanting में तो क्या क्या कर लेते हैं अभी. भगवान भी बोलते होंगे क्या कर क्या रहा है, माला कर रहा है कि क्या कर रहा है. One time, one devotee, he was telling, he told another devotee, Prabhuji, you chant very fast. No, I chant very nicely. I hear each and every word properly. So one day what he did, he recorded the chanting of this devotee. And then he showed, Prabhuji, I have to show you something. He played that audio. He said, ये मेरा चैंटिंग है ही नहीं, मैं तो इतने अच्छे से चैंटिंग करता हूँ, Many times we don't even realize the speed at which we are chanting. ऐसा चैंटिंग करते हैं कुछ लोग राजधानी भगाते हैं, just like bumblebees. Try to hear each and every word. Be prayerful. This पंचतत्व मंत्र, जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर Shrivas, Adi Gaur, Bhakta Vrinda. This is the most important mantra. Because of their mercy, we are able to chant. So Mahaprabhu is so merciful. He has given the highest to the lowest of the people, the most undeserving people of Kali Yuga. It is a fact that Kali Yuga is a very wonderful time to practice spiritual life, but the problem is not everybody understands the value of it. Just because we have something, that doesn't mean we'll realize the value of it. तो सबको अपॉर्चुनिटी है यहाँ पे चैंटिंग करने का, बट वेरी फ्यू कम. श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु टेल्स, अरे बाबा यू 4 बार तो फेल हो चुका है, तू 4थे बार आया है एग्जाम देने के लिए, तो पढ़ तो ले. हम पढ़ते भी नहीं. बोले ठीक है कोई बात नहीं, एग्जाम हॉल में आ जा, नाम लिख देना, मैं पास कर दूंगा. और हम वी आर सो स्टबर्न, हम आएंगे नहीं हॉल में. नित्यानंद प्रभु इज वन स्टेप अहेड. ही कम्स टू द होम. घर पे आया हूं, नाम बताओ, मैं ही लिख देता हूं नाम. स्टिल पीपल से नहीं करना है, चैंटिंग नहीं करेंगे. अरे बाबा, दैट इज द इजीएस्ट वे टू कनेक्ट टू द लॉर्ड. So therefore, the more we chant, the more the mind is purified. Chanting purifies the mind. Scriptures purify our intelligence, and association purifies our ego. When we come together in association, especially when in serving together, सेवा करने में ना बहुत शुद्धिकरण होता है. Because everybody has their different way of doing things. Everybody has different opinions about something. And then we have to accept the other opinion. That is very difficult. Spiritual life begins with being humble. Humility is the most important ingredient in our spiritual practices. If we are not humble, that will be very, very difficult to practice spiritual life. Not so easy. One time, Lord Balram ji, he was traveling, because after before the beginning of Kurukshetra war, Balram ji said, I don't want to take any sides, because I like Yudhishthir also, I like Bhim also, and I like Duryodhan also. Duryodhan was also a disciple of Balram ji. He taught Gada to Duryodhan. So Balram ji said, I don't want to take sides. I am going on pilgrimage. Easiest way to avoid any conflict. यात्रा पे निकल जा. तो निकल गए यात्रा पे. As he is traveling, he reached Naimisharanya. Naimisharanya, anybody has heard? Naimisharanya, the place where Bhagavatam was spoken. He saw an assembly of the great sages. Many, many sages had assembled. And there was one person who was giving the class. His name was Roma Harshan Sutra. Very learned personality. He was a disciple of Vyasdev. And he was speaking. Balramji enters this assembly. Everybody got up except one person. Who was that? Roma Harshan Sutra. He didn't get up. Why? I am sitting on Vyasasana. I am speaking Bhagavatam. I am speaking about Krishna. Why should I get up? Because whoever is sitting on Vyasasana, he is the greatest person. Balramji, he could understand the attitude of this Roma Harshan Sutta. He is proud. Risher Bhagavato Bhutva Shishyodhitya Bahonicha Setihasha Puranani Dharmashastrani Chanyata. This son of this disciple of Vyasdev, he was a disciple. Risher Bhagavato Bhutva Shishya. This Ramharshan is a disciple of Vyasdev. He is very learned. Although he knows all the Ved, Puran, Dharma Shastra, सब पढ़ लिया है, सब पी गए हैं वो. He has imbibed everything, memorized everything. For us to memorize even one shloka of Bhagavad Gita is sometimes difficult. जैसे तैसे पढ़ लेते हैं वही बड़ी बात है. It is not so easy. But he had memorized, he knew all the verses. And Balramji says, this person, although he is a disciple of Vyasadeva, he has learned all the scriptures, but there is one problem here. Adantasya avinitasya vritha panditamaninaha nagunaya bhavanti sma natasyeva jyatmanaha. Adantasya, he is not controlled in his senses. Avinitasya, he is not humble. Vritha panditamanina, अपने आप को बड़ा पंडित समझ रहा है. I am entering the assembly and he is not even getting up from his seat thinking that he is a great learned person. He is making a show. He is a dramatist. Natasyeva jitatmana. Balramji took a blade of grass, touched that blade of grass to the neck of this Romharshan, and this Romharshan is dead. That's how intolerable arrogance is for the Lord. So, very, very important quality in our spiritual practices is humility. Humility pleases the Lord. There is one very important verse, all of us please repeat. Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. This is one of the verses written by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Siksha Ashtakam. In this verse, he is saying one should become more humble than the blade of grass, more tolerant than tree, ready to give all respect to others and expect none in return. Very difficult. To give all respect to others, expecting none, मैं तो उल्टा सोच रहा था. Everybody should give me respect, and I should not give respect to anyone because I am so great. Spiritual life begins with humility. We are no one. Everything we have is given by the Lord. So what is the need to be proud of anything? Learn to give all respect to others. So in these 4 months, one more thing we can try is try to glorify somebody. One time, just like on the birthdays, devotees, they come together and they glorify the person whose birthday is there. So in one program, so the person who was conducting program, he thought I'll also apply this. There are new people. So he called one person whose birthday was there and he said, "Acha, inke family walon ko bulaiye." So his wife came and he said, "Can you speak some good things about your husband?" And she is thinking, "Kya bolne ka hai inke bare mein?" She was really and then she spoke 1 or 2 lines as मतलब कुछ भी नहीं याद आ रहा है. So very difficult to find good qualities in others. और बुरा बोलना है तो हाँ, उसके लिए तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, हम तो रेडी हैं उसके लिए. इनमें तो अच्छा क्या है दिख ही नहीं रहा है मेरे को. All of us have one person in our life, इसमें तो कुछ भी अच्छा हो ही नहीं सकता है. ऐसा है किसी के जीवन में कि ये व्यक्ति में ना कुछ भी अच्छा नहीं है. Try to find at least one good in that person. So that's how we become more purified. When we try to do things we don't like, that brings us closer to Krishna. When we learn to see good in others. So that is one more difficult thing, to become humble. Today is also a very important day, Shayana Ekadashi. And in Maharashtra, all of us know how important this day is, Ashadhi Ekadashi. One of the very, very wonderful days in which all the devotees from Varkari Sampradaya, they travel, they walk all the way to take darshan of Lord Vitthal in Pandharpur. Some devotees, they stand for hours and days also. How many of you have gone for this Ashadhi Ekadashi darshan any time to Pandharpur? Any of you have been there? None of you. Just one devotee is gone. 2-3 log gaye hain. Long queue. But everybody is happy there. So the story of Pandharpur, it is a very wonderful story. This is a story of a great devotee, and what's his name? His name is Pundalik. So this story of Pundarik and this Pandarpur Dham, we'll discuss something about that. Not in detail, we'll discuss something about this wonderful event, wonderful occasion. Because when we hear the stories of Krishna, and when we hear the stories of the devotees of the Lord, that brings us closer to Krishna. Krishnakatha and Vaishnava which is more powerful? Vaishnava Katha कितने लोग लगते हैं? Krishna Katha is definitely very powerful. Vaishnava Katha is more powerful. कितने लोग लगता है Vaishnava Katha is more powerful बाबा? और कितने लोग आप ही बता दो ना हमको क्या बोलना, तो दोनों भी ठीक ही लग रहे हैं. श्रुतस्य पुंसां शुचिराश्रमस्य नन्वञ्जसा सूर्यभिरीडितो अर्थः तत्तद्गुणानो श्रवणं मुकुन्द पादारविन्दं हृदयेषु येषाम्. Vidurji is telling to Maitreya in Bhagavatam, if somebody is making a great endeavor to hear, हम लोग सोच रहे थे, we were thinking, I was thinking कि आज तो बारिश है, बहुत कम लोग आने वाले हैं आज. All of you have done such great endeavor to come all the way in spite of such heavy rains. श्रुतस्य पुंसाम शुचिरा श्रमस्य, अरे श्रम करके सुन रहे हैं what we should hear. Nanvanjasa suribirito artha, definitely we should hear about the great devotees of the Lord. What is so special about them? उसमें उनमें ऐसा क्या है भाई? भगवान के बारे में सुनेंगे ना. तद्गुणानो श्रवणम मुकुंदा, we should hear about the glories of the devotees, the qualities of devotees, because mukunda padarvinda hridayeshu yesham, they have Krishna's lotus feet in their heart. That is the glory of the devotees of the Lord, and one such devotee is Pundarik. So this story is a very wonderful story. So this story comes in Padma Puran, and Skanda Puran also describes a little bit of it. One time, Radharani, she visited Dwarka, and she saw that, oh, Krishna is living as a king. And when Krishna, he saw Radharani has come, he became very happy, started spending some time with Radharani, and definitely who will become angry? Rukmini will become angry for sure. अभी रथ यात्रा में हेरा पंचमी होता है ना, रथ यात्रा के 5वें दिन पे हेरा पंचमी नाम का एक फेस्टिवल होता है. कृष्णा तो चले गए यहाँ से, अभी द्वारका से वृंदावन चले गए और बोल के गए कि आता हूँ अभी जल्दी आ जाऊंगा. एंड दिस इज अ कॉमन एक्सपीरियंस, अभी आता हूँ और आ रहे हैं 2 घंटे के बाद. So Rukmini Devi is waiting कि भाई कब आएंगे, आ ही नहीं रहे. 1 दिन हो गया, 2 दिन हो गया, 3 दिन, 5 days are gone. So she is really angry. She takes all her assistants and she charges towards Gundicha कि आप तो इनको अब सबक सिखा के आएंगे, लेके आएंगे जगन्नाथ जी को, कृष्ण को. All of them go and they start shouting, and the servants of Lakshmi Devi start beating the servants of Jagannath. अभी भी ऐसा होता है, वो मारते हैं वो लोग. एंड देन पूरा गाली गलोच हो रहा है और फिर सब विद अ फुल ऑन वंडरफुल फाइट. व्हाइल सो जगन्नाथ जी बोलते हैं आई एम कम आ रहा हूं, बस आ रहा हूं, आ जाओ. So while returning, they break a part of the chariot of Jagannath ji. So गुस्से में बहुत कुछ गड़बड़ हो जाता है. So Rukmini becomes really angry and she leaves. I'll not stay in Dwarka. She leaves and she goes to Pandarpur and she goes to यहाँ पे Dindirvan नाम की जगह में चली जाती है, and she is doing tapasya there. And now Krishna comes all the way searching for, लाना पड़ेगा ना, खोजना पड़ेगा. पत्नी है तो पत्नी नाराज होती है तो फिर बहुत मनाना पड़ता है ना. तो एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है, पूछना है. So he comes all the way, and Rukmini says, "I'm not coming. You go." तो ये बोलते ठीक है, ये तो नहीं मान रही है, बीच में एक काम करके आता हूँ, अपने एक डिवोटी को थोड़ा सा दर्शन देके आता हूँ. So this devotee was Pundarik, and this Pundarik, he was such a great devotee, and he was serving his parents that time. The parents were also wonderful devotees. So Lord, he comes to the gate of this Pundarik ashram of this Pundarik, and the Lord, as he enters, he's standing there. So Pundarik, he sees that the Lord has come. So he says, "Oh my Lord, I am just busy serving my parents. You just wait for some time." And he throws a brick. "You stand on this. Don't go. I am coming." So Lord Krishna, he is standing on that brick. And भी खड़े होते हैं तो ऐसा बोले, यार कब तक खड़े रहना है, पता नहीं चल रहा है. So that is the position of Vitthal. Vit मतलब brick पे जो खड़े हैं, Vitthal. That is a story. When Lord is putting his hand on the waist, what is he telling? He's telling the world, when you come and take shelter of my lotus feet, this entire material existence, the ocean of Bhavasagar, becomes waist deep for you. You can easily cross it. This Pundarik, he was not always like that. When he was young, he was very, very cruel. He had no good qualities. His parents, their name was Janudev and Satyavati. They were very great devotees of the Lord. And this Pundalik, he was not at all interested in spiritual practices. So one day, Janu and Satyavati, they were so upset. So Pundalik was married, his wife was also like him only. So they were so upset with Pundalik and his wife, they thought, we'll go to Kashi and we'll leave our body there. They left. And after some days, this Pundalik, he was moving around in that village, and some person told him, "You are not going to Kashi. Or your parents have gone to Kashi. You should also go to Kashi and help them." So Pundalik, just to make more fun of the parents, he went on a horse along with his wife. By the time he reached the place where the parents were there was an ashram. They were there at the ashram of a great sage. His name was Kakut Muni. So he was also staying at that place that night. His parents were also there. And at night, this Pundalik, he saw a very, very interesting, amazing scene which shocked him. He saw few ladies, very, beautiful ladies, but they were dressed in very shabby clothes, full of dirt. They came there and they started grooming the ashram of Kakut Muni. And as they started grooming the ashram of Kakut Muni, they became really beautiful, effulgent. Their clothes became really shining white, spotless. So you're surprised. Who are these ladies? What is happening here? So this Pundalik, he went and asked, "Who are you? All of you are grooming here and you became so beautiful, effulgent. What is the secret behind this?" So they said, "We are Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati and all the holy rivers. Once in a year, we come here to clean the ashram of Kakut Muni, because by cleaning the ashram of Kakut Muni, we become purified of the sins which people they come and put in us." गंगा में स्नान किए हैं? क्या करते हैं गंगा में स्नान होता है तो? पाप धुल जाते हैं. और यमुना में स्नान करते हैं तो क्या होता है मालूम है? Anybody has taken bath in Yamuna? तो यमुना में स्नान करते हैं तो क्या होता है मालूम है? पुण्य भी धुल जाते हैं. बोले क्या बात कर रहे हैं? पहले क्यों नहीं बताया? You know why? It is good. Because when we take bath in Yamuna, our sins are purified, our piety is purified, because to go to spiritual world, we don't need piety or sin. We need devotion. And Yamuna gives devotion. Bhraturantakasya pattane vipattiharini prekshayati papinopi papa sindhutarini niramaduri virapya shesha chitta bandhini mam punata sarvadara vinda bandhu nandini. ये यमुना अष्टकम में 8 श्लोक हैं, पूरा नहीं सुना, चिंता मत करो. तो इसमें क्या बोल रहे हैं? भ्रातुर अंतकस्य, हु इज द ब्रदर ऑफ यमुना? यमराज. भ्रातुर अंतकस्य पट्टने, one who protects a living entity from going to the abode of her brother. Prekshayati papinopi papa sindhutarini, she removes all the pap also, and she gives devotion. The river, the waters of Yamuna is very, very pure. Niramadhuri virapya shesha chitta bandhini. Please purify me of my contaminations. Mam punata sarvadara vinda bandhu nandini. Very poetic. क्या बोल रहे हैं इसमें? What is Arvind? Who is Arvind Bandhu? Who is a friend of lotus? When the lotus blooms? Sun. Arvind Bandhu Nandini. अरविंद के बंधु की पुत्री है ये. That's a poetic way of speaking. ये यमुना है. So all the rivers, they are coming, गंगा यमुना सरस्वती सब आके यहाँ पे झाड़ू लगा रही है. क्यों? उधर झाड़ू लगाने से वो शुद्ध हो रही है. That's the power of association of devotees. When we stay in association of devotees, we get purified. There's a beautiful conversation which happens between Bhagirath and Ganga Devi. Because Bhagirath, he wanted to bring Ganga because उनके पूर्वजों का उद्धार करना था. वो स्टोरी कभी और बताऊंगा. So Ganga Devi appears in front of Bhagirath and says, I can come on earth, but I have 2 conditions. Who will bear the force when I descend? And when I descend, what will happen? All the people will come and take bath in me. They'll put their sins in me. Who will purify me? मुझे कौन शुद्ध करेगा बताओ? So Bhagirath says, "Arey, that is not a problem. When you descend, Lord Shiva will bear the force, and who will purify you? Sadhavo nyasina shanta brahmishtha lokapavana. The great devotees of the Lord, they will take bath in you, they will purify you. That's the power of great devotees of the Lord. So Pundalik, he hears कि अरे ये साफ करके ये लोग शुद्ध हो रहे हैं. And then these rivers, they say, as far as you are concerned, you are such a great sinner. You will never be purified because you are not treating your parents properly. They are such great devotees. That was a eureka moment for Pundalik. That was shock of his life. गंगा यमुना सब बोल रही है कि तेरा शुद्धिकरण नहीं हो सकता. That transformed him. From that time onwards, he became a great devotee of Lord. So that's the story of this great Pundalik who was a great devotee of Lord Vitthal. And there are many pastimes of Lord Vitthal. Pandharpur, the glories of Pandharpur Dham are unlimited. So that's how today is a very, very wonderful day, Ekadashi, and it is such a great fortune that we are getting a chance to hear Bhagavad Gita in association of devotees, hearing about the glories of Krishna, glories of a great devotee of Krishna. That makes us really fortunate. So with this, I will stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Anybody has any questions? If there are any questions, we can answer. Yeah, black. Blackish. Okay, it seems there are no questions. Yes.
And suppose while reading, we don't read in the Sanskrit aspect, it will give the purpose. So, is it like reading scriptures or how we
Okay, so the question is, we know all the scriptures are in Sanskrit, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and we read the English, the commentary and the purport, the translation. So are we getting less advantage? कि संस्कृत तो नहीं समझ रहा है, इंग्लिश पढ़ रहे हैं हम लोग, तो हमको कुछ कम मिल रहा है क्या? No, it is not like that. When we read the words given by Krishna or great acharyas in any language, they are beneficial, provided we understand it, provided we apply it. If we are not applying it, it will not make any difference. One person came to Prabhupada and said, Swamiji, I can recite all 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita in 40 minutes. Prabhupada said, can you live Bhagavad Gita for 40 minutes? That is more important. What will you do by memorizing all the verses? Krishna will not ask when we are entering Goloka, "Bhai, kitna yad kiya tune shlok?" वो नहीं देखते हैं Krishna. How much we have applied this in our life. That is more important. That's why Srila Prabhupada, when he is writing the purports, Srila Prabhupada writes in the first verse purport. Before we wrote Bhagavad Gita as it is, there were no devotees of Krishna in the Western world. But after Bhagavad Gita as it is published, there are so many devotees. That's because the devotees are getting transformed. People are getting transformed by reading Bhagavad Gita. भाई श्लोक याद करने से कुछ नहीं होता है. That is more important, to transform our lives by applying this. Any language we can read, no problem. It is not required to understand Sanskrit. I also don't know much Sanskrit. जो भी मैं बोलता हूँ खाली श्लोक ही याद करता हूँ और कुछ नहीं. I have not studied Sanskrit. Just memorizing verses because I like it, so I memorize it. Otherwise, not needed at all. If somebody is liking for Sanskrit, that is a different thing. But it is not needed to go back to spiritual world and develop connection with Krishna. Okay, so that is important. Any other questions? Yes.
Recently, I was reading a book. Author says that fate doesn't exist, but the effort is. Even in real life, कि अगर effort मारोगे तो ही fate काम करेगा. Like he says that. So how spirituality, what spirituality says about fate and effort?
Please take out 18th chapter. 13th verse, I think. 14th verse. That's the answer to your question. The question is, Mataji read a book, उसमें लिखा है only effort works. Fate doesn't exist. Because मेहनत करेंगे तभी तो फल मिलेगा. Is there a space for fate in our life? मिल गया 18.14? अधिष्ठानं तथा करता करणं च पृथग्विधम् विविधाश्च पृथक् चेष्टा दैवं चैवात्र पंचमम्. Read the translation, please.
Space of action, the body, the performance, the various stages, the many different kinds of observers, and ultimately the super soul. There are the 5 factors of action.
These are the 5 factors of action. Any action we do, these 5 factors are involved to give us the result. To understand this, take the example of cricket match. This cricket is the most common event in India. What is the place? The field, the pitch. Adhishthana, karata, the players, the cricketers. Karanam, what are the instruments? Bat and ball and wickets. And cheshta is the practice which they do. And the 5th thing is Daiva, destiny, Bhagya. Even the best of the cricketers, they know अब सब कुछ किया है मैंने, I practiced it. It is like home pitch. My instruments are wonderful, but still something is not in my hand. There was one batsman. There was one bowler or batsman. before the match is about to begin, he would go around the stadium and he would close all the toilet commodes because he would think ये अशुभ है मेरे लिए, खुला रहेगा तो. Some other person, he would keep handkerchief out of his pocket half because they understand that सब कुछ मैंने किया है लेकिन some things are not in my hand. That is Daiva. Every year in Mumbai, many people, they come with a dream that I'll become Bollywood star, and they all endeavor equally. How many become famous and successful? Very few. So when people say fate, effort matters, fate doesn't matter, they don't understand the basic principle. Daiva is equally responsible. Even if we have all the skills, even if we try our best, even if the student writes the best exam, but पेपर चेक करने वाले का अगर मूड खराब रहा, वो झगड़ा करके आया होगा घर में, तो उसका गुस्सा यहाँ पे निकालेगा वो. So some things are not in our hand. That is called as Daiva. When people say I am a self-made man, मैं तो अपने बलबूते पे जो हूँ वो हूँ. मैं तो भगवान के मंदिर में कभी गया ही नहीं, भगवान के सामने कभी झुका नहीं हूं मैं, फिर भी मैं जो अपने बलबूते पे बना हूं. देखो, they are just enjoying the results of their previous karma. That's why they are successful now. Because endeavor everybody does. Some people, they become successful, some don't. So we have to understand this very clearly. Daiva is equally responsible. These 5 things are there in every action. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad.